I want you to think, what is it that I do in such a unique way, or I can implement in a unique way that makes it hard for me to replace? And the harder it is to replace, the more money you make. Period, point blank. There's never another way. Attention, coaches, consultants, course creators. If you get paid based off your knowledge, I'm going to tell you something very, very important, okay? What if I could teach you how to make extra 5 to 6 figures every single month using simple Facebook and Instagram ads, all right? Let me tell you about my boy. He got the paid ad playbook. Listen, this paid ad playbook is going to give it to you for free, first off. Marquel Russell, one of the most genuine people I've ever met, he's created over $500 million in client revenue using the paid ad playbook strategy, all right? So listen, go to socialproofgift.com or text PROOF to 904-447-5274. If you want to get 50 to 100 new client leads every day that actually convert, you need to go to socialproofgift.com or text PROOF to 904-447-5274. And he's going to give you a bonus video that helps you with a strategy to customize your particular strategy for your particular business. All right, again, socialproofgift.com, text PROOF to 904-447-5274. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. We don't have the screen up, but, Joe can't get it all right every time. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's okay, Joe. No, don't try to fix it now. It's all good. Welcome.
New year, same you, Joe.
But Joe has been producing. I see a change in Joe. It's really dope. It's really, really dope.
I've seen a change in him from a personal standpoint, for sure. Like, that's a big, obvious change.
Also, Joe is now a sex symbol.
Joe is the podcast sex symbol.
Oh, man, it was on your head. It's like, oh my gosh, when you turn the camera on yourself, Joe is so attractive.
Joe gets more compliments than we do.
That's a fact. I don't get any compliments, which is crazy.
Well, that's because you're married, and that's a good thing. The women respect you. I get some compliments, but nobody is ever like, yo, pass Donni my information. Nobody's trying to date me through the podcast comments, Joe.
You're crazy. You just threw that out as bait, because now they about to give a yeah.
No. Joe, literally, one girl was like, Joe is handsome. David, tell him I said that.
That's a fact. Yeah, that was a DM, too. That was crazy. You out here, Joe.
That was a DM as well as a YouTube comment, because it's on YouTube. Like, let me just tell you something. The ultimate form of a compliment or flattery is not only when somebody thinks you're attractive, but when they are bold enough to shoot their shot in a comment for the world to see.
Absolutely.
From their real profile.
Joe out here.
Joe in the streets. Let me know, how does it feel to be Joe sexy?
How's it feel, bro?
Well,
been sexy for a long time, huh?
Exactly. Ain't the first time I've been sexy my whole life, but it's cool. I mean, I'm not big on attention, but I mean, it's cool.
But you saw it, though.
Yeah, definitely saw it.
I'm not big on it, but I saw it.
I saw it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see some Joe on some dates. And we said we were sponsoring a date for Joe, right?
We are sponsoring a date for
Somebody
Joe.
hit up Joe in the DM. If he chooses you, you know what I mean? We'll sponsor the date. I'm talking about a nice date, too.
Joe, are you free to date?
You free?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
New people?
Watch yourself, brother.
I mean,
watch your answers. I was just like,
I am, what's the two? How it go, Donni? How does it go?
Single until married.
No, not that one. The other one I like. No, the significant situation.
Oh, you're in a situation that's significant. So
no.
you are?
No. Can we, Donni, how was your week? Let's talk about your week.
Whoa.
Joe's turning red a little bit. How's your week?
My week has been amazing. First of all, you and Andrea surprised me last week with a birthday trip to Miami. So I'm all like in Miami. I didn't think the birthday trip was happening because I ended up getting COVID. Yeah. Do you remember? I manifested that. I literally sat at that table during the Social Proof 7 dinner and said, you guys, remember I made an announcement, hey, I'm not acting funny or anything. I'm just like, my birthday is coming up and I'm not trying to catch COVID.
Right. But
12 hours later.
Caught that thing.
It was in
And
me.
I think you gave it to me, honestly, because
You got it in Miami.
You stepped out a little prematurely.
You
wasn't counting your days right. Like, I was shot. Yo, I was on the phone with Brandon, and I was like, yeah, we here with Donni. He's like, Donni, don't she got COVID?
Well, because what happened was I was only feeling bad for like 2 days, and then the CDC made an update that you only need to quarantine for 5 days. So I was in these streets for my birthday. Yeah. I felt good. So we get to Miami, we land in the airport, we're like waiting a long time. We're just hanging around. And I'm like, what are we hanging around for? This is weird. Why are we hanging in the airport? And Kenny is all like, let me check something. I got to see where we're going. And if you know him, he is very planned and coordinated. So I'm like, what's going on? And then this guy, somebody just like bumps the crap out of me from behind.
Mad hard.
And I turn around ready to fight.
And then she realized to be a Dre, and she's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But she was ready to rumble.
I was like, what in the world? Like, nobody needs to bump you that hard, right? It was a really, really rough bump. Yeah,
I did a bit much.
And it was them, and I was super excited. And we were in the streets.
Yeah.
We were in the streets. Yeah. I forget what we did. Was that dinner?
We went to dinner. That dinner was amazing.
That dinner was amazing.
We went on a wax shopping spree.
Yeah. So one of my birthday gifts, so Kenny paid for my bookkeeper to get my books together for the whole year. Yep. So that's super dope. But one of my like material gifts, he treated me to a $20,000 shopping spree.
That's lit.
Or he tried to anyway, because I still haven't spent all that money.
No? How much did you spend?
Maybe 13 grand.
Gotcha.
And then it just got to the point where I feel like I'm just buying stuff. So I stopped.
Did you get a laptop?
I don't need a laptop. My laptop works.
I thought you said you needed a laptop. And the camera, you got your whole camera set up. You didn't take that out of it?
I didn't take that out of it. I should have. Dang, I thought about that. I didn't think about that. So he treated me to this $20,000 shopping spree. And what he did was, because he collects points for everything, so he gave me his American Express card. And the whole idea was for me and Dave's wife, Dre, to go out and like be on the town, like doing all the shopping. And y'all came too. And we went to their Saks in Miami, which was mega trash. Yeah. Saks was mega trash in Miami.
Very Bloomingdale's vibe.
Very Bloomingdale's vibe. I mean, I would have had a better experience in Dillard's.
Yeah, 100%.
So then we went to like their shopping district, and it was like over an hour wait for everything.
Everything.
For every store.
Louis store, hour and a half. Fendi, hour. Like, it was crazy.
And then their men's store was separate from the women's store. So it wasn't like the experience. So I only ended up buying one thing there. And we ended up coming back. Oh, so we were supposed to go straight to Cabo from there. And because of COVID, all these flights had gotten canceled and we didn't make it, which ended up being a great thing because my daughter got COVID. So I would have been super guilty.
Crazy, man.
I would have felt super guilty if I was in Cabo on the beach and she's at home by herself dealing with COVID. So,
no, the weirdest thing, I don't know anyone who hasn't gotten it.
Yeah, well, I see a few people in my comments who say they still hadn't gotten it.
Could be asymptomatic.
They could be asymptomatic. So she ends up getting COVID. So it worked out that we missed the flight. So, I live in a condo. So she was in the condo, but I tried to stay out of the condo most of the day and just be there at night. Like I would set her up with her food and everything and kind of try to stay out. So we were back in Atlanta and I did some shopping. But then it just like, I don't have to shop a whole lot. Like $20,000 is a lot to spend for me. Like I go and I pick up a piece here and there. And I was just thinking about all the things that I could be doing and I wanted to be strategic. So anyway, that was that. We ultimately ended up making it to Cabo for 7 days.
Give me the entrepreneurial principle that you learned from Cabo. You're like, as an entrepreneur, when you go places, you like something, you see something that like turns a corner for you. If you see a different experience and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm taking that with me. If you're like me, I'm always thinking about business.
Yeah.
I'm taking it back like, oh, that's what I was missing.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those moments?
A couple of things. So from the experience altogether, we were at the LeBlanc Resort. Beautiful place. It's a spa resort. But in Cabo, we did not experience the word no.
What you mean?
Customer service was just amazing. Everything was, we'll make it happen. We don't typically offer this, but we'll make it happen. What can we do to accommodate you? So the best customer service I've ever had, let me just be clear, was in Jamaica. But this Cabo experience was really good. The resort was really clean. Really clean, like above clean to my standards.
Oh, for sure. Because Donni, she get paper forks everywhere we go. It's crazy.
Joe, dig in my purse. I got one.
To gold cups. This is saying a lot. Dang.
No, so,
like you were impressed by the cleanliness.
What's so funny is I bought my travel kit with my fork, spoon, knife, and straws, washable straws and stuff. And I didn't have to use them. I used the straws, but I didn't have to use my fork kits one time. So this was really awesome. So it goes back to the give the pickle lesson that I'm always teaching about. You guys will have to watch an episode. We're not going through that today. Going above and beyond to serve and satisfy your customers. Also, if they said the car was going to be there at 4:03, Miss Wiggins, your car will be here today. The car was there at 4:03, period. There was no 4:05. There was no, it's on the way. The vehicle was there. Everybody understood their job was the biggest lesson that I got.
Was Cabo expensive? Is it an expensive place?
Cabo is a rich place and a rich destination in Mexico from what I understand. So we were in a spa resort.
Cabo's in Mexico.
Cabo is in...
Yo, I promise you, I didn't know where that joint was. I was like, oh, Cabo just sounds lit, but I didn't associate it with Mexico.
So, and here's probably why. So you have like Cancun and Tulum and all those places. But Cabo, I believe it's Western Mexico. It sits like right by California, Arizona, all those places, right? So it's on that side. And it doesn't even feel like you're in Mexico. It feels like you're legit in like Cabo. Arizona.
Like you're in Cabo.
No, it feels like you're in Arizona. There's like a lot of mountains and it feels deserty. There's beautiful beaches and ocean. But anyway, the biggest entrepreneurial lesson takeaway was, this is a very well-oiled machine because everybody understood their assignment. Everybody had a job to play, and your first point person had to build you up to lead you to the second point person, had to build you up to lead you to the third point person. The experience started from the taxi.
So you were looking at operations. I know your operations mind is
my
like,
God.
I love this system.
I'm looking at everything. And then, so at this particular resort, you have an opportunity to purchase a membership. It's almost like a timeshare-like experience. And they get you on the first day. They don't even give you an opportunity to enjoy the resort. We'd love to throw in 1,500 resort credits if you'll just take this 90-minute tour. And of course, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. But Kenny, on the other hand, he's like, I want to do it because he loves to see sales processes. So we end up doing this tour. Actually, I didn't go. The first day I stood them up.
You're out of that.
Completely out of that. And then Kenny is like, we got to go together. They make you do it as a couple.
For sure.
So then the next day, I still didn't get it. Like, I'm thinking, if I just don't get out of the bed, he won't hold me to this. So he goes and he does the tour and he calls me.
That's his second tour, or is the first one you did?
This is our first tour, but it was the second appointment.
Why did he go to 2 tours?
He didn't go to 2 tours. So the first one, I stood them up and they wouldn't take him on the tour.
Oh, they wouldn't take him. Okay, gotcha.
But the second time, I guess they felt bad for him because he showed up again without me. And they just went ahead and did the tour. So I get a phone call from Kenny maybe 2 hours after he leaves the room. And he's like, hey, look out on the balcony. We're in the governor's suite. I look out and he's at the sales center. I already knew.
He's buying?
Hey, I just want you to come and see the presidential suite because it wasn't available. It became available this day. He's like, I just want you to come and see the presidential suite. Like, you're going to love it. I just want you to see it. So when we come back, I already knew. Let me get his passport and all this stuff. He's going to need these documents to make a purchasing decision. And I forgot to get the stuff anyway, but I get there and he's already sold. The lady is talking to him in terms of the package that he wants to buy. And I pull him to the side. I said, you got to be the easiest sale ever for anybody because he's just going to buy it. You make it look good to him, he is going to buy it without question. So yes, he got the package.
What was the package? Do you remember?
It was like $15,000 for X amount of discounted nights or something like that. It was really dope. So what we were able to do...
Can we go?
Yes. So, yes. When do you want to go? Like, we got to go back. I thought about you on the trip. Let me tell you why. So there's a gaming station right outside of our balcony. Guess what they had?
Monopoly? No way.
They had Monopoly, Connect Four, Scrabble, and table tennis.
All my stuff.
I was like, David would love it here.
Like I'm not looking at the beach or the service. I'm like, they've got Monopoly.
They got Monopoly. And yeah, so that was really exciting. But yeah, everybody played their position very well. And even when they didn't, one of my big pet peeves in business and customer service is for someone to tell you they don't know the answer and that's their final answer. Hey, how do I update my membership? I'm not sure. I handle billing or I handle, operations. I'm not sure. Okay, and
right. Right.
And so it's so important that if there's an answer if there's a question that you don't have the answer to, you do your best to get that answer. Hey, I'm not sure what that answer is. That's not in the scope of my department, but let me place you on a brief hold. I'm going to find the person who can help you with this, or I'll find the answer, or I'll follow up with you via email or whatever. And you would never have known that these people didn't know their job. So you get a butler and everything, when you travel a certain way, you have a butler that supports you for your whole trip, things like that. So our butler took care of everything for us. And Jamaica was more of a vibe from the service standpoint.
What part of Cabo,
we went to Montego Bay.
Okay, yeah, we was there too.
And I don't know if I'll go back to Montego Bay.
And the grill next?
Ocho Rios, I believe. The only reason, the grill has the best beaches, but there's this jerk chicken place that you can...
Rios don't sound Jamaican. You sure that's Jamaica? Do that sound Jamaican? Rio? That sounds like...
It don't, but it sounds like is that a resort?
Is it a Rio?
Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Is Ocho Rios a resort?
It just sounds like there's a resort in Dominican Republic with the name Rios in it. That's what I thought. But
the Rios?
She's right.
The Rios. R-I-U-S?
Yep, there you go.
That's not the same.
Well, maybe some Hispanics have settled there on Ocho Rios, Jamaica. That's what I'm assuming.
I cannot.
It's a real thing, though.
So the only reason that I want to go there next is because there's this jerk chicken place that I went to in Montego Bay, and it's the midway point between Montego Bay and Ocho Rios. So you can't get to it from the grill. It's too far. I got to have that chicken one more time.
Just so black. I'm just going to fly to Jamaica for this chicken joint.
If you have the jerk chicken, you're going to be thinking about flying back to Jamaica just to have this chicken.
Okay, I'm ready to take some trips.
Are you ready to travel?
Not really. I'll go some interim. I just don't have a desire to travel like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like being home.
Dave, this is why you lack culture.
Who says I lack culture?
This expression that you have right now.
Ocho's Rios? Yeah.
Ocho's Rios. Oh, it's Cabo in Mexico.
Sounds like a snack. It's like a sandwich joint.
It sounds like something you pack in your lunchbox.
Yeah. It sounds like a Mexican place.
Babe,
like
did you give Sarai the Ocho's Rios this morning?
Nah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a desire to travel like that.
Okay, that's cool. You want to go somewhere in the next 30 days?
I would go somewhere. Let's go.
You want to go to Mexico or Jamaica?
But Cabo, I would do it though. It's Mexico and it's right there by the States, just in case anything happens.
It is right by the States, but it is a almost 4-hour flight from Atlanta.
I mean, that's LA. Oh, from LA.
From Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's an LA flight.
Let's do it.
I really want to do Hawaii too.
Now that's on my must-do list this year.
We should just do it now while it's cold. Because Hawaii's warm, yes? All year round?
No, I don't think they're warm all year round.
Okay. Oh, snow in Hawaii? Sounds weird.
Joe, you didn't know about Jamaica. I'm not sure if you understand climate in Hawaii.
Do you think getting in, going different places, expand your mind? You got to talk to me in terms of entrepreneurship for me. Because the experience I'm not going to be caught up in experience. It's Eiffel Tower.
Have you ever gone out of the country?
Yes, I have.
Where have you been?
I've been in Jamaica. I've been in Mexico. I went to Canada for a speaking gig. I'm an international speaker. You ever got booked internationally? Tell the truth. Don't lie.
Yes.
Where?
Bermuda, Cancun, Tulum.
You got booked to speak in Cancun?
Yes.
I'm not talking with network marketing. That doesn't count.
They brought me back as a
travel club.
No, women's organizations at that time were booking me for these trips. Absolutely. I got booked at colleges and
all right. Anyway, because you got more than me. Canada. And
I haven't been to Canada. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. It was like deep Canada too.
Deep Canada? What does that even mean?
Yo, Canada's huge.
So is there like not deep Canada? Is it shallow about like Canada?
It wasn't the 6. You know what I mean? It wasn't Toronto. It was out in an area.
It wasn't what Drake raps about.
which makes it deep. No, but anywho, yeah, I don't know about the whole travel.
Okay, so
I would, but it's not.
We're declaring right here on this podcast that we are traveling 30 days from the release of this podcast. Within 30 days from the release of this podcast,
COVID outside. So
it was COVID outside when you came to Miami. You got COVID
from you.
No, you didn't.
She definitely came out prematurely.
I did not. And then Dre got COVID.
Yeah, but also it's going to depend on my goals too. If I could just leave.
Why do your goals?
Some aggressive goals right now.
I have some really aggressive goals too, but there's no reason that you can't accomplish them.
Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I will set a travel destination based on the accomplishment of something. Do you want to launch your podcast? Now is the year to launch your podcast. Do you know if the world shuts down again, I'll make another $1 million because people are at home watching my podcast. They should watch your podcast too, but you just don't know what to do. You don't know what to do to launch your podcast. You have a gift, you have a voice, you have a perspective, you have a network, you have something that the world needs, but for some reason you haven't launched your podcast because you don't know what to do. You don't know what type of camera this is. You don't know what type of mic that is. You don't know what type of mixing board that is. You don't know the chords that you need. You just don't know. And over 5 days, I'm going to teach you. I just need an hour a day of your time over 5 days, and I'm going to teach you how to launch your podcast. I recommend you get VIP, but you can do general admission as well. I recommend VIP because you get like an extra 45 minutes of my time, Q&A and all that kind of stuff. It's more personal. I recommend get VIP, but you can do general admission as well. But now's the time to launch your podcast, and I'm going to teach you how to do it over 5 days. LaunchYourPodcastChallenge.com. Click the link below. Let's go. I just can't say 30 days.
Yeah.
Let me do something. Like, let's do something and then go have the trip, the celebration for the doing something. Now, there's a whole lot of self-carers out there that's like, oh, you have the wrong mindset. And I feel you. You just got to treat yourself sometime. But
that's me. One thing that I did take away from this experience is that you have to get away and refill your cup.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And
that's true.
Even being away.
Maybe that will help me hit the goal.
Yo, I was so productive. Just in the first day of doing work, I got more done. I got tasks done that I was avoiding getting done because in real time, it felt like a huge project. Like, man, if I sit down, I'm going to be doing this for hours, or I really got to think this through. And it was a piece of cake in Cabo. Just listening to the ocean breeze. I don't know if it was the energy or the weather or just the environment of people just living life. It was like I got so much work done, so much. And so I believe that it'll be a great place for us to go and like mastermind and really just like map out our I don't know what it is about travel that does it for you, but it really makes you uber productive.
I'm with that. Okay, let's frame it that way. I just got to be framed correctly.
Yeah, so I'm not, 30
days we'll go somewhere and mastermind.
Within 30 days.
Within 30 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll go somewhere and mastermind.
We'll go somewhere and have a trip that is part turn up, part business.
Okay, I'm with that. Where you want to go?
I know you only like 30-minute flights.
I'll do Cancun. Hilton Head. You know what I mean?
You want to go to Myrtle Beach?
Somewhere Myrtle Beach. Anywhere I got some water, Cancun.
Let's just go back to Cabo because let me say this, and I don't want any hate in the comments, but this was my first time going to Cabo. I've been to Cancun a million times and Dominican Republic, and Cabo makes those destinations feel ghetto. Yeah, it feels like the hood of Mexico. Cabo is much like Dubai in terms of they don't really have crime. Right. I saw one police officer the whole 7 days, and that police officer was simply directing traffic in a high traffic area. Oh, wow. It was super clean. There were no homeless people. There was no random trash on the streets, even in downtown. It was just nice.
All right, I want to go. Did you tell Dre already?
I'll tell her as soon as we're done here.
Okay. And y'all already paid for us to come, right? Y'all got
No, we paid for a discounted membership.
So do we get to take part of the benefit too?
You get to have the discount.
Okay. All right. Say less.
Yeah,
All right.
get to have the discount.
We're in there. All right, let's get into some entrepreneurship stuff, man. How you feel? You want to get into it?
Yeah, I feel amazing, but I want to ask about your week.
Oh, you wasn't about to.
That's where I was trying to think, like, did we talk about Dave's week? Let's talk about it.
Yes, my week was awesome. Working, we're getting closer and closer to finishing out the studio. Actually, when I get out of here, hopefully they got the bathroom fixtures, toilet, sinks, all that kind of stuff up. We're getting really, really close to opening it. I'm excited about it.
Very nice.
Yeah. So also, right now with the morning meetup, we got a really aggressive goal, but we're looking at a platform, like building out our own platform or app to be able to house the community and do different stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a real heavy lift that I'm trying to get in my mind to actually start. Because there's a platform, you got to do a 14-day trial. And over the last few days, I've been avoiding starting the trial.
Is that Mighty Networks?
Yeah. Are you familiar with it?
Mm-hmm. I put a lot of my clients on it. I put Trap's group on.
Yeah, he was
Mighty
telling
Network.
me. And yeah, but I think I want to do it differently.
So Mighty Network will also allow you to do a custom build out if you want to.
So that's the one we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if necessary, I have access to a developer who can just do it from scratch, leveraging nobody else's third-party platform build out for you as well.
Yeah, but I do like the support of the Mighty Networks instead of having my own app and I gotta
having to come up with the support.
Yeah, you gotta have the support. You gotta have somebody on the team that's updating it and making, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's awesome.
I'm saying, you think going native build or?
I mean, I think there's levels, right? And I don't think you need a native build necessarily. I do think you need something more custom than what the standard $30 a month membership will give you. You definitely need to take it off of Facebook. I literally was just smiled because I was literally having this conversation with one of my clients today. Shout out to Courtney Stallworth. I was telling her that one of my goals is to create my own app because I want to move all of my groups off of Facebook. And I've been saying it for a while, mostly because I have experienced too many times being hacked and losing everything. So I want the app. I have not played around with the features of having them customize your own app. I've only used that platform for what it offers, but I did go through the, what do you call it? When you take the tour kind of deal, kind of call with them. And it's powerful. It's super powerful. Yeah.
How much would you charge me to like help me with the transition?
I'll help you with the transition. I already have a credit with you. Or you already have a credit with me? Because I still want you to build out that sales team. Okay.
But I need to pay you because if I don't pay you,
I don't do it.
It's not. Yo, you know what? This is a good topic to talk about.
I ain't doing it. I mean, and I will do it. I have good intentions all the time. I usually don't agree to things that I'm not getting paid for in the first place. So that eliminates that.
Yeah, so she just hit me with I got you. But I know how that, I know that.
Well, what I thought you meant was how much would you have to pay me to run the idea past me? But now it sounds like
no,
to run.
I'm talking about I'm already committed to the idea. I'm talking about handling the transition of the people. But there's two things I want to talk about. Can you write this down for me, Joe? Because I don't want to forget it. The disadvantage of friendship. Just hold that to me. But what I want to do with the platform, because you can transition all your people in your community, right, over to this platform, and then they pay the platform, and the platform, like you're running it through them, and then they pay you, right? Which you'll probably lose a bunch of people in the transition, things of that nature.
30%.
Yeah, which I'm not into that. I don't want to lose anybody in the community.
So you risk whenever you're transferring. So,
but let me finish this thought though. Let me finish this thought. Hey, where was I?
Okay. You're gonna lose some people in the transition.
Yes. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. We keep the processing in place the way it is, right? So and anybody that has a membership community will probably relate. They're paying you through Stripe. We'll keep the processing in place, but we'll add the app, and it's a benefit for the people that are already paying. So the same website we're bringing in, and it's more of a manual process because we have to verify the people that can come over into this community. But I think I'd rather do that than transition everybody over to the app and have them control it?
So a couple of things that I've learned about migrating platforms. Number one, you have to give people time to comfortably transition over. For sure. Right? We have given people too much time and then too little time. There's such thing as both. But you want to make sure you're giving people time. Usually when you're transferring over platforms, you want to factor in about 60 days because it makes it urgent, but it depends on how you're notifying people and all this good stuff. One of the benefits to doing it the way that you do it is, or the way that you operate, you have a good show up rate on your calls. So I would literally recommend free advice every single day of 1 week of your call, maybe even 2 weeks. You take the first few minutes, or people usually get on maybe at the 30-minute mark. So at that 30-minute mark where you have the most people, go ahead and say, hey, you guys should have already received an email. I want everybody to log into it right now. It doesn't matter if you're on your phone or your computer. Comment it in the chat once you've registered into the new deal. I do not like your thought process in terms of continuing to charge them in Stripe and put them in Mighty Network, because it kind of defeats one of the bigger main purposes. So they'll be able to manage their membership inside of Mighty Network, change their cards, cancel if they want to cancel, which you don't want the people canceling, but a cancellation is better than a chargeback.
Right, but here's the thing. We have everybody in Samcart now, which they can manage their membership.
Yeah, but why would you be paying for two platforms? Why do you need two platforms? It's just confusing. So, hey, we meet in Mighty Network, but go to Samcart to update your billing and all this other stuff.
Well, the only reason we have Samcart is just payment processing.
I understand, but Mighty Network does the same thing.
Right.
Otherwise, what's going to happen is the nuance to Mighty Network is once you get people, if you did it that way, you have to grant everyone free access. You have to create a free subscription inside of Mighty Network and then give them all free subscription. Now, if in the event you said enough of managing both of these platforms, and the whole point of operations is to simplify as much as possible. So that Samcart Mighty Network thing is going to be a headache. Once you understand that and find that out, and you have to then start billing them in Mighty Network, you can't just change their subscription plan. You have to get them to opt in again anyway.
Correct.
So just do it now. You'll lose about 30% of people, and there are some things that we can do to possibly curb that number just a little bit. But those are going to be people who are dormant anyway. They're not active anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah. So that's been my week of just trying to figure out how I'm going to safely transition everybody over, because I don't want it to ruin their experience. But I do have this big idea and this plan for this community. You know what I mean? So, but it's going to require me taking attention off of some other important things in the business to focus on this. That's why I'm saying, how much is it going to cost for you to manage it?
Let's talk about the scope of all these big ideas that you have. If it's just a transition, that's the easy thing to do. It's a tedious thing, but an easy thing, right?
Easy sounds inexpensive. Easy sounds like yesterday's price.
You'll get yesterday's price for sure.
See? So now the point I wanted to discuss was the what was it? What did I say?
The disadvantages of friendship.
The disadvantage of friendship. So, Joe is what we can always bounce off on this podcast to create a good conversation. So Joe has a podcast, right? That's my boy. And I don't know how your podcast is going. How's your podcast going?
It's going all right.
It's going all right.
That is not scalable or quantifiable.
It's definitely not.
I don't really know what
means. All right just means it's not going well.
It's not going well.
Nobody's you're doing well. You say
nobody's
unless you're super up, then you be like, it's all right.
It's going, man. It's going.
It makes you feel better.
But the benefit, not say it's not going. You making money from it?
Actually, somebody did do $100 sponsorship.
$100?
Yes.
Good. Congratulations. But the challenge is he's so close and he's never going to, it would be awkward or weird for him to join the mastermind. Or he's so close that he can't get client attention. Or like one of my best friend, right? If he wanted to get into business, like I can't even see myself charging him. And he's not even gonna think, oh, this is my best friend, we good. Like, he's not gonna think to like pay me what other clients pay me. And then I'm gonna hit him with, yeah, I got you. And I got you, no problem, but I don't have any obligation to see you succeed. When I have clients, I feel an obligation to make sure I'm giving them the right information. I'm pushing them, making sure they succeed. But when you're so close, you're at a disadvantage. Make sense? If somebody said, yo, Dave, I'm going to pay you $5,000 to do what Joe does so that I can be around and learn. They're going to pay me money to do what he does because a part of this package is I get to be a part of the podcast, I get to ask questions, and I can apply this stuff to my business. There's a disadvantage to friendship when it comes to business. And maybe that's just me and the way I see it. I love to see your perspective on that.
I think there are both advantages and disadvantages, for sure. I think sometimes some of your friends won't ask you to cash in on the advantages. And I think that happens far too often.
What do you mean? Explain that.
So you'll be great at doing a thing. How many times has Joe asked you, hey, Dave, can you just look at my podcast and tell me where I can be better?
Never.
Donni, can you just look at my podcast and tell me how can I be better? You didn't even tell me that you started a podcast.
You didn't know you had a podcast?
Not until I saw a random episode of a clip on Instagram.
And it's not like, for this particular thing, you didn't do anything wrong this time, Joe.
Oh, you did.
No, I didn't.
He didn't let me know.
No, this is a tough thing to discuss. This is I think there's a disadvantage to it.
I think there's both, right? I think there's a disadvantage, yes, because number one, so I think the disadvantage comes kind of like in what you explained. The reason Joe didn't ask you is two. Number one, Joe wants you to be proud of him, right? He wants you to see that he's picked up on that he's implementing what he's picked up just by being in the room and he's doing it. On the flip side, Joe also sees Dave is real busy. He doesn't have time for this. Or Dave has people paying him $30,000 to learn how to do this or whatever that number is. I can't pay him that, so I don't want to disrespect him.
You know what the real disadvantage is? Even if he approached me with that, I don't even see myself taking his money.
And you wouldn't take his money.
That's the challenge.
But also at the same time, I'm sure there are times where you sit and be like, why didn't he just ask me?
Yes, but even the quality of the information of just asking is different than clients. So he can't even if he wanted to, he can't pay me and have me accept what I would charge to do it.
So you treat your friends differently?
No. Yes.
I do. I was going to say I do.
Yeah,
I do because so we have an obligation to our clients to give them the best of us. But friends are a little different because there are so many other things. Like if it doesn't work out with your client, the worst case scenario is a refund. If it doesn't work out with your friend, the worst case scenario could be the destruction of that relationship. And I just, when it comes to helping friends make money, it has just worked out and then it's not worked out both ways. I believe that you can make money with your friends, and I'm talking about in partnership, but I am talking specifically about when it's time for you to teach someone something and have them go out and apply. It can get really, really tricky. One, because you don't teach a friend the same way. You can be a little bit more frustrated with a friend than you could, or you could show a little bit more frustration with a friend than you could a client. You could actually tell your friends about disappointment in a more direct way than you would typically your client. You can call your friends out on your stuff. Like it changes everything. You call your friend just to see what they're doing and they're on the couch watching the new reality show and you're like, yo, did you get X, Y, and Z done yet? I'm disgusted with you or whatever the case may be. It works out just a little differently. And then what do you charge your friends? What don't you charge your friends? In a situation I've been in before, It's like, I'll discount 50%, but then 50% wasn't enough. And then now you mad at me. And then, it's just, what do you do? It is a disadvantage.
Imagine dating somebody that's amazing in business. You're not going to date them and be their mentee. What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book every single chapter, every single day? We're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. You feel me? Like, my wife is at a disadvantage as an entrepreneur because I think I could be. If she wasn't my wife, I'd probably be the perfect person to coach her. Because when I say something, she'll receive it differently. I'd have more courage to say what I want to say.
You scared right now?
A little bit.
I get you.
So one time we were talking and she said, what do you think I need to do to really, kind of, I forgot how she said it, but my answer was, you should read a book. You should find a book to read.
I remember you telling me about that. A book? Oh, no.
She wants a deeper answer. And I don't have one because you haven't been an entrepreneur for, like, if she wasn't my wife, this would be my advice. We need to start somewhere with a book because the game is here. It's like, if you haven't been an entrepreneur before, even the stuff I tell you to do, you're not going to understand it until you start like being exposed to a different way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't coach her effectively. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to effectively do it, but I don't know, man. There's certain disadvantages of being close.
For sure.
So I don't know how y'all gonna get around that. And I don't have any answers. Is there a way to get around it? What type of advice would you give somebody?
I would invite my friends, if they wanted to be a part, to sit in on my Q&As and things like that and ask questions. I actually want to, I've been thinking of this idea for the last 2 years. I would love to be able to have like a quarterly sit down with like my friends, my personal friends, and just catch up on goals and like, what are you doing? What can I help you with? Like, make it something standardized, still in a room of people, and just kind of swap ideas, almost mastermind. Like, if we could do that once a quarter, just, privately with friends, I think that would be more effective than me being responsible for coaching you every day.
I actually did that last night with my friends.
So what?
I actually did that last night with my friends.
Really?
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah. I mean, it's just like we get together and we mastermind.
Seems like all of my friends, 98%, really only have like one friend is not an entrepreneur. He's in it now, like he's doing government contracting now, but I don't got that many friends that aren't.
But even there's still levels to it. Like, most of my friends, when I think about it, are also entrepreneurs, with the exception of 3. They're not entrepreneurs. They probably desire to be some type of entrepreneur, but they are successful in their careers.
For sure. And you just mastermind with them too.
I haven't started yet, so that's something that I want to start. Yeah, I would just mastermind and say, how can we help each other, but more importantly, how can I help you? And I believe we just got to recognize that our friends are different. They don't have to want to necessarily reach the levels that we've reached. But in terms of financially, I'm probably further ahead than my friends. Yeah. But there are some things that I could learn from them as well. So maybe a mastermind where it's like, how can we help? We know what the deal is, right? We know what we're here for. Yeah. But how can we help each other?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can do it together. I'll try to.
Because you only got one friend, so.
Yeah, one friend and maybe some family members.
You only got one homie, so.
Well, you know what? I do have, and I'm not going to say his name. We know the friend.
He came to my house
probably have to, really?
Yeah. Talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He came to my house before I left town.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So like people like that, need some assistance, but they're not going to join a mastermind.
And we talked about you.
Really? Was it good?
That's why I brought it up.
Well, we don't got to get into it because.
Yeah, no. It wasn't bad. It was, y'all, I told him that he needs to have a conversation with you. It wasn't bad stuff, but it was, it's not bad, but it's some things that we probably need to say. Like, I just need to tell you this and maybe express that I felt this way and then also apologize to you for something. That conversation needs to be had, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. All right, cool. Another thing I wanted to say to you too.
Wait, real quick. Can you table that?
Yes.
Y'all.
So
I said.
Shouts out to Hefe the jeweler.
Yes, Hefe the jeweler. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah. Listen, first of all, I have never received anything like this. Thank you, David.
You're very welcome. Happy birthday.
Social proof. This was one of my birthday gifts from the Shans. Well, this one I'm going to say was directly from David. And then he and Andrea got me something else really, really cool. And you'll see it, so I won't tell you yet. But let me tell y'all something. I've never even opened the type of case that this comes in, but the case lights up.
It has lights that make it look crazy, right?
I was like, wow, this is so sweet. I thought it was so, isn't this nice? Joe, am I blingy?
You're very blingy.
Can you see me? So if I went on the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne pulled out the little fact checker on me, is the diamond?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
VVS.
All right.
That's VVS. We went there.
Yeah.
We went there.
VVS Jewel Me. All right, go ahead. Carry on. I just had to point it out because the reason that I did it was for you, not for me. I know you guys noticed something different. I'm shining a little differently, and I just wanted to satisfy your curiosity. It's real. You see it.
That's a fact.
You see it.
So I wanted to ask you how you're changing. Did you put the shade on the mic? I want to know how you plan to change. Girl, stop it. How do you plan on changing things up? This, like, moving forward. So you had a really, really good year. And one school of thought is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We just do the same thing again.
Yeah.
But I want to know how you are gonna, like, moving forward. What's the escalation, or what are we changing this year from last year?
Switch it up. You weren't comfortable with that word. Too many syllables. Escalation.
We went back to switch it up.
I don't know necessarily that I'm changing more than I am. No, maybe I am.
Can I tell you what I told my morning meetup this morning?
Okay. Because you're going to ask me a question and then give me the answer. Go ahead, Shan.
No. Well, I told him that I was like, somebody asked, who can really help me in my business idea. And we talked about a person. I was like, of course, I think you should hit up Donni. But I was like, you probably have to hurry up because I don't even really want her coaching people no more. Because sometimes she has calls and I'll be wanting to hang out and she can't.
How selfish is that?
That's mad selfish. So you're going to take away from her income.
Because he wants to go shopping.
No, not
I gotta
take
have money
away.
to shop with.
But I got like ideas that fit into, I know where she wants to go. And not saying she's going to do it, but I got ideas like for where she wants to go and where I think we can go together. Mm-hmm. And you got clients.
So since the year has started, I am 2 clients lighter. Which means that I went from 8 one-on-one clients now to 6. Oh. And so that means that 3 of these clients I'm not going to get rid of, right? You got
some pretty dope clients.
Yeah. 3 of these clients I'm not going to get rid of, and I don't want to get rid of any of them. The 2 clients that I parted ways with, it was more mutual than anything. I didn't give them an ultimatum, but they understood that right now where we are, I probably can't help them at the level that they want me to help them at this time. One of them, we generated a brand new idea from scratch. His idea is super awesome. And he, communicated that let me give some time. Now that we got the idea mapped out, he wants to take some time to really build that idea out and get something for me to coach him on. And then the other person probably isn't a good fit, if we're being totally honest, just in the business model and probably financially, because of the business model and some changes that need to be made, is probably a financial burden for them to be able to continue with coaching. And once these clients are gone, you can't come back. Like, you can't take, the conversation is, can I pause a month? No. You got to cancel, baby.
Yeah.
You got to cancel because your girl is moving on. Let me tell you, it became so real for me in Miami when we were just in Miami, and I was gifted a $20,000 shopping spree. And I'm like, tomorrow? Oh no, that's my busy day. I got to work. And y'all are sitting at the table like, what? I'm like, I have to work. And I literally got up at 6:00 that morning to start taking calls. Like, I literally that night rescheduled some of my clients so that we could start at 6. So by the time we were ready to work or we were ready to go hang out, I would be available. And I did not like that feeling. I don't want to be a slave to my business. So this year I am looking for ways to detach a little bit from the business. I will be, as I am eliminating one-on-one clients, I likely won't be taking or replacing those spaces. But I do have a high-level group mastermind that if your business qualifies for it, you can still get coaching, but it has to be in the group space at this point forward. Gotcha. When I really, really think about what I do as a coach right now, it's just not necessary. It's great to have a coach that you meet with every single week. It really is. But I have created a group program that still feels like weekly, right? And so we still communicate every other week. We don't communicate every single week anymore. And what I have learned is sometimes that week-to-week coaching can almost be micromanagement of your clients. You're looking for these updates every single week. And sometimes, especially when you're dealing with higher level entrepreneurs, you have to give an idea or feedback time to breathe and manifest. Sometimes we may not have an update from the 1st to the 7th. Sometimes it takes the whole month to get the result from what we're looking for. So what I have done...
That is a good perspective. You said something, I just caught something, but go ahead, keep going.
What I have done is created a group program that's going to stay very small and intimate so that everybody can still get attention. But I have made it feel like one-on-one.
What did you say?
I said something about micromanaging your clients.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Who are you sending that to?
Not myself. I'll be texting myself notes.
So you can teach about it on Instagram?
Mm-hmm. Teaching on it tonight, actually.
Yeah. So this year I want to, and what I am noticing is the week-to-week interaction, though it's great, and my clients will still get touched week to week, right? They'll still have interaction week to week. But the coaching for me is going to be a little bit different. And I believe it's going to be more effective because I also want to develop entrepreneurs who are self-sufficient. Right. I don't want you to have to, right now, you can, when you're working with your clients too much and they're able to come to you for too much feedback, you create this codependency where they're afraid to operate their business in the 6 days that they don't talk to you. And that's not productive either. So I believe going into the group model is going to be really awesome, especially for the clients. Like, the transition is going to be for me. The biggest difference is going to be for me because I actually like one-on-one coaching. But we are going into some different directions. I want to this year focus more heavily on our partnership. Yes. I want to focus more heavily on our partnership and whatever that means. Like, as I'm even talking about it, I just got this little flutter in my heart. Like, it's about to go up. Oh,
we got the one idea, which, you want to talk about it?
The one that I literally just texted you and said, nobody is doing this?
No, what was that? Which one?
The one that we're actively working on right now. I created the Google Drive for.
Oh, no, not that.
Okay.
The other podcast.
Yes, okay.
We can talk about it, right?
We can talk about that.
So it's pretty much, it's a dope concept and we won't kind of throw the name out there. Well,
no name.
It's trademarked.
Okay, well then throw the name out. Okay.
So we are starting and now we're saying it we really got to put...
Yes, we do, because the last time we said something.
100%. So it's called the Brain Picker Podcast. Brain Picker Podcast. So the objective is, for one, I don't do one-on-one coaching. Like, you can't just like book a Calendly link and pay and you get me as coaching, right? Donni, you don't have a link either, right? Mm-hmm. You can just pay for some of my time. But what we're going to be doing, because everybody wants to pick up. Huh?
Just for the record, you can't just pay for my time.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So to the Brain Picker Podcast is a model that that says we get to coach people publicly, but you have to pay for the coaching. So for instance, I don't know, it might be X amount of thousands of dollars for you to be on the Brain Picker Podcast, and it's virtual, so you don't have to be in person. Mm-hmm. But we actually, you give us your business idea, we kind of do some research on it, all that kind of stuff, and then we come to the table and we're coaching you live. Here's the cool thing. Some people might, like, we're gonna like, almost like Kevin Samuels, you know how he just flame you, tell you what's wrong with you? You know, he says you're built like a linebacker or something like that. I'm like, yo, Kevin Samuels, you gotta chill. But people like that live feedback, right? Mm-hmm. In front of people on a public platform. But also, if we can help somebody with their business in this 45 minutes, hour, however long it's going to take, but you get me and Donnie's brain on your business. Here's what's really, really cool. Outside of us coaching the person, they have an audience of people that might want to support the idea through the coaching. Mm-hmm. So that's where, and it's not free. I'm not just doing it just for free. Like, you have to pay for it. You pay to be on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And we coach you, and, you know, you put whatever your link is. And, you know, if you want to learn how to build a t-shirt business or something like that, if the t-shirt business is dope, that's exposure for you. People are going to see it and like it. We're teaching you how to build it, concepts. Mm-hmm. And you'll probably get a lot of support from our audience seeing it. Mm-hmm. Building a podcast at the same time, which the income from that podcast is going to be amazing. Amazing. Because I think we could probably do that joint four times a week. Think of the numbers.
I just had another idea. I have to take a note of this. We'll talk offline. It's so crazy. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so we have that coming up. We have some physical products coming up.
Physical stuff coming up, man. Mm-hmm. It's so lit. And let me just tell you about our relationship and who we both are. We both have our own strengths, right? I don't know. What would you say my strength is?
Your number one most obvious strength is community leadership. You're a connector of people, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it?
You have several things that you're talented at, but what I have been telling you for years is that you are a master connector of people, meaning bringing people together to accomplish an end goal result. You are a master interviewer. You know that as well. And I think that you are one of the greatest visionaries in our space.
Okay, I like that. That makes me smile.
You want more?
Yeah.
Let me look at the thesaurus real quick. Okay. Find another adjective.
So in some of the, I'll have these ideas, and I feel like I have the network to pull it off and the resource to pull it off. But the execution of it is how Donni I see, we need to have a building for events. And what Donnie's superpower is to, in an empty building, see the person checking people in at the front, seeing the merch set up here, seeing the flow of the event, seeing where everything needs to go, seeing how the operations work in the building. I think it's valuable to be able to see, we need to have event space. But she can see all that other stuff, right? And not that she can't see the building too, because she's a great visionary as well. But when we are able to stay in our own lane, and I can have this big idea, and Donni puts her brain on it and says, oh, well, we'll transition to people like this, so we can have them. There's no reason to have both, like we just talked about. when those two things came together, and that's what I was talking about with in the morning meetup, I was like, yo, I don't see her coaching y'all like that.
Dang,
so y'all need to hit her. Y'all need to hit her immediately.
Did you say that today? Because I got an influx of appointments on my calendar today.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They probably felt that fear of loss. I was like, yo, I
saw the emails coming in like, yo, what is this? What did I do?
Shoot, imagine a business that we create that is $1 million a month. There are no clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to choose. We just do charity stuff. We just want to help people. We'll do events to fulfill our helping of the people. We'll do that. But I just feel like I know for a fact that the things that I see, it's going to require one, more of me, and two, higher level talent to pull off the big thing. Mm-hmm. So I was going to talk to Joe too. But
I'm in. I mean, I'm all in. I ordered all of my camera equipment.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited about that.
Execution.
I did that within minutes. And that's how you know I'm in, because we've been talking about this camera equipment for a couple years at this point.
Yo, and all it took was an ASAP. She didn't even know what it... I was like, yo, did you get the camera? You got it set up? She's like, no. I was like, yo, get it ASAP.
Send me the list.
And then like minutes later, sent me the screenshot. She was like, okay, what do I need? And I'm like, I don't know. Hit Jose. And I'm literally minutes later, she has a screenshot of all the stuff so that we can have the same clarity and all that kind of stuff for this Brain Picker podcast. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk to Joe some more?
Let's talk to Joe.
So
he living life.
This is so possible. I believe income follows value.
Right.
So I think the thought has to be for you, how can I double my value? Like double it. How can I be so valuable that it would be hard to replace me? And the harder it is to replace somebody, the more money they make. So I'm not trying to replace you because I like being around you. So it's hard to replace you in the sense of I like working with people that I actually like.
But I'm impartial. Whatever.
So what I want you to do, go ahead.
No one hear her impartialness.
I'm just impartial.
Why?
I'm just with...
I need this. I love the feedback.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's about the job being done, not the person. I used to hire the person and keep the person around because I really wanted the person around me. But I had a lot of misfires on the job getting done. I recently just went through that. And it put me in a pickle, put me in a situation where I needed to go and take a trip and decompress, right? So I like to hire people that I want to be around and are qualified to do the job. And one of the things that I do to ensure that that's happened now is I outline the job first. And then I give you an opportunity to apply for it. And I ask you seriously, based on these job descriptions or based on these job duties, can you do this job? Highlight for me which ones you feel like you have to learn to do. Highlight for me which ones you can do with ease. Like you can do this right now in your sleep. Where are you going to need some high-level training? And then we make a decision from there.
I feel that. What are you about to say, Joe?
But it's a little different because Joe has been around and he's on the team. And I can also appreciate Joe has demonstrated some serious loyalty.
100%.
And I can appreciate someone in your position growing with the brand. Like, Joe, if you play your cards right, you'll be a millionaire just being connected to us.
100%.
If you play your cards right, new. Okay? Get new with everybody but me.
What are you about to say, Joe?
No, what I was saying was, it's crazy that this conversation is being carried through the whole week. Like, we had a conversation Tuesday. Darius pretty much talked to me through the podcast Wednesday. Thursday, we're having the same conversation. And I was telling you, like, I have to accept my leadership role in the position that I'm in. I think sometimes I shy away from it because I just don't want to be the center of attention, the spotlight. But I have to do that in all aspects of my life. But another big thing is that I don't want to do, but I know I have to do, is let some things go. I got to let some things go and put people in position where I am, where I know that they can excel in that, and I can just either just oversee it, just like look, just peeking in, or just saying, yo, take that, what I have, and you take it. So I can really hone in on what I really have going on, because through you, I got my first podcast client. And I called you, I said, yo, can I do X, Y, and Z? Boom, boom. You said, yes, thank you.
Very respectful.
Yeah. And so, I figure it's the right thing to do. And you said, you had a conversation with me and said, that's cool, but so-and-so needs to do so-and-so, and you'd have a conversation with them. So I had that conversation, which I didn't want to do, but it's like, I'm learning to grow up in areas I need to grow up as a 34 going on 35-year-old man. And it's stretching me in places where I don't want to be stretched at. And it's causing me to really like set deadlines for myself. So right now, April 5th is a big deadline for me. I have to launch this thing April 5th. If I don't, I don't know.
April 5th?
April 5th is when I launch my coaching program that I've been putting off for years.
Okay.
It's the first of second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So this first quarter is where I got to start releasing some things and saying, yo, can you take this on for me? This is what it pays. It's yours. I'll teach you how to do it inside out. Whatever you need, I'll still be there for you. But it's just, if I don't let these things go, I can't be who I need to be to you. I can't be who I need to be to Donni. I can't be who I need to be to myself. I can't be who I need to be to my family. It's just, I'm stretched too thin right now.
Yeah, I feel that. But I also want you to think, so y'all have a call weekly, right? With you and Donald and Mark?
Yeah, every Monday at 11.
Who put that together?
Mark.
I knew it was Mark.
Yeah.
Mark is playing for keeps right now. Mark is sending me presentations like, yo, I got this idea, man. This is what we need to do. Listen, we do this and that, and we'll get to the 10,000. And I'm like, ooh, okay, that was good. But slow down, Mark. Mm-hmm. Slow down, Mark. But he's like, yo, I got this idea. His objective is to become valuable. Mm-hmm. Our relationship with most of the people that we work with are, Donni says, do this, and I do that. Mm-hmm. Or it's Donni correcting the way I did it, or checking up on the things that I was supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. That's the relationship. Would you agree that's the relationship with the people you work with? For the most part,
yeah.
But then you get these really special people who their objective is not just to do their job, but to become more valuable. Their job is to innovate, not just being reactionary to information, but their objective is, how do I help grow this thing? How do I really, really put my mark on this thing that's growing? And that's what, like, Mark is super. You remember we had the idea about the streaming service or something like that, and I'm like, Mark, we can't pull that off right now. But I'm super proud of him for innovation. He's thinking, yo, we'll do $1 million a month with this joint. And this is how we're going to do it. And I'm like, all right, well, what are you going to do? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Now, he still has to work on some things in terms of being able to manage what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. But I think his heart is in the right place in terms of searching for the value that I can add. And the more value that you can add, right? So think about this, Joe. Well, what do you do here in this company?
Some of everything.
Just outline if you had a checklist.
If I had a checklist, of course, record a podcast. Just social proof or
social proof.
David Shan's Morning Meetup.
Yeah.
Social proof, record a podcast. David Shan's just pretty much just project management type stuff. So if a project comes about, I'll take a task out of it and execute that part of it. Sleepers for Suckers.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
What do you do that will be hard to replace?
I think the podcast.
Which part?
This part right now, me sitting at this desk. I don't think anybody's willing to.
Could I have someone to learn how to set up a camera, switch, record, upload the footage?
Yes.
So it'd be hard for me to replace that?
Not that portion of it, just more so my flexibility. This week we've recorded 3 episodes. And I said, I'll move some things around and make it happen.
For sure.
I think it's hard for people to really get adjusted to that part of it.
True. But you don't work every day. I mean, in terms of like, I don't, typically, typically we just record on Wednesdays.
Right, for sure.
Period, point blank. Mm-hmm. And other days we're not recording anything else.
Correct.
I think somebody would take that job.
Yeah, they would.
And I don't think it'd be hard to replace. You think?
Not just say like that, no.
So for Donni, what she brings to the pot, it's hard to replace somebody who you can like flow with on camera and be a visionary thought leader because you got years of experience and understand how to talk to people, stuff like that, right? So it would be harder to replace a co-host than it would for the producer.
Correct.
I'm going somewhere with the point. I want you to think of that. I want you to think, what is it that I do in such a unique way, or I can implement in a unique way that makes it hard for me to replace? And the harder it is to replace, the more money you make. Period, point blank. There's never another way.
Is your title officially producer?
It has. It's been floating around for the past 2 weeks. And Jen called me today. She's like, what's your title for the podcast? I said, Dave's been floating around producer for the past 2 weeks. So let's go with that.
I think you're producer. Or even, let's say this.
The producer typically also brings talent to the show, at least in radio world.
I brought somebody to the show. I did.
Oh.
Mitt.
Huh?
Mitt 215.
He DM'd me.
But I brought him to the show.
DM me. Like, you just happen to have the DM and answer it.
I cannot.
Or even think about...
answer the DM.
Think about a really good salesperson. Say you have a really good sales... I'm talking about deal closing. They act up a little bit. You're a little more lenient. Because they're harder to replace.
Yes.
Because that's a skill set to be able to get somebody to pay $2,500, $5,000, $10,000. That's where the value is. So I always want you to think about, Joe, you're good. Okay, I'm not
scared.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no. I was just going to write it down.
But like for the 4 people, that's how we have to think of it.
I agree.
I'm sorry, I did a lot of talking today. Are you... Come on, you a city girl?
City girl's up 5 right now. BBS around my neck. I'm just excited to be iced out. You know what I mean?
Get off the mic, please. Just thank you. Over here smell like vacation. Still smell like vacation.
Smell like new money. Little ocean breeze. No, I think we talked about this before when it comes to supporting roles. When it comes to any role, especially figuring out how to be so significant to that role that you can't be replaced. But from a CEO perspective, you feel you try to, your job is to find those people who are so valuable who can replace you. So can Joe one day run the whole ship as you see it right now?
In terms of like podcasting and stuff like that?
With what he does right now, with his responsibilities, could you go away for 30 days and know that Joe is holding it down?
It depends. We're still having a little shaky on the release dates and stuff for the...
If we had all of the episodes recorded, episodes stockpiled, and you didn't have to do any interviews, and the ship just had to operate from that point forward.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good system. So we got Joe, between Joe, Donald, and Mark, they're working in sync right now. I don't have to worry about, is something going to be released? Now, I did catch something yesterday, which is strange. And there's still we're still working on, right? Our system.
Yeah.
You know what I have noticed, though? In recent months, you haven't been in the group chat like, I need this, who got it?
Only because I'm thinking, because everybody has their role. Everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, because it was just too much.
Yeah, everybody knows what they're doing. But I mean, I still like that though. Like there's a checklist of things I need to have done. But now I'm just hitting people in silos.
Who's that?
What was that? Oh, that was Brandon. Because he was supposed to be doing... like commenting or something like that. And he just wasn't doing it.
BFF
like,
Brandon?
Yeah. I'm like, you're fired. I had to fire him.
Why do you keep giving Brandon responsibilities?
That's my boy.
Never does
you know what I
them.
mean? That's my boy. Yeah, he just, yeah.
He never ever does them, Brandon. Shame on you. I was like, who is that? I don't have that number saved. What's that one about?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So, yeah, that's the podcast.
I think I need to start showing up on the weekly meetings now.
I'm not doing the weekly meetings anymore.
Oh, dang. Just when I was ready.
I'm thinking through, because there's a lot going on, right? So we have morning meetup and then podcast. And then the people that do the podcast, they don't really have a whole lot to do with the systems and launch your podcast challenge and all that kind of stuff. And then those people don't really have anything to do with the podcast. So I want to have more targeted conversations with targeted groups.
Have so many entities that are separate, but you're leveraging a lot of the same people in all of the entities.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I'm not though. So it's only, we got like a floater between, Joe would be the biggest floater, not even Jen really. Jen is more, she's not really on podcast stuff.
She's morning meetup.
Yeah, she's morning meetup. David Shands, I need something, she got it. Joe will float between like event and podcast, but it's not a whole lot you do for morning meetup or funnels and stuff like that. So people pretty much have their roles. Don't try to disrespect my business. No. Like we out here.
So why aren't you having, because one of your entities is David Shands LLC, right? Correct. So why aren't you having to prevent you from having to have all these different targeted meetings, why aren't you just doing one meeting and it's, for example, all right, what's up next? Sales team, blah, 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 blah. Marketing, not marketing, morning meetup crew, where we at? Let's talk. Podcast, let's talk numbers. And you're just having one big meeting. And I think it would be inspiring for all of the team members to kind of hear how the whole operation is being run.
Yeah, but for me, I don't want to have more than an hour-long conversation.
It shouldn't be.
But what I'm saying is, if I'm talking about the podcast, we can do an hour there.
You need more of an agenda.
I mean, no, but like sometimes there are like things that we got to think through on the call. It's not just do this, do that. Sometimes I want to get the feedback so that we can think through how to build it. So
try maybe one full team meeting and then with your team leads, department heads. So whoever's heading operations, whoever heads the podcast, whoever heads the morning meetup for the entities, talk to them, separately. You have these meetings and then you bring the whole team in your weekly meeting. And you still get to have the same type of feeling or impact or culture building that you're doing.
Yeah, maybe. I'm doing some personnel adjustments too. So,
tell me about them.
What you mean?
Personnel adjustments.
I mean, I don't think we need.
For example,
I don't think we need to talk about it right now.
Is that an offline conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really a big conversation. It's just,
shaking things up a little bit.
Yeah, shaking things up a little bit.
Okay.
So, that's that. There's so many things when it comes to like building a bit. What time? So many things that, like when it comes to building a business that you have to consider. And I don't know what we would title this podcast because we talked about a little bit of everything. But would you got a title?
Well, we did talk about the disadvantages to friendship. We spent a little time there.
Disadvantages of friendship in business. Okay, that'll be it.
Yeah, that's disadvantages of friendship in business. See how valuable I just displayed myself to be, Joe? There's an SOP for this.
So what's going through your head, Joe?
Think about his value now. Thinking of the value. I know I'm valuable, but to put a name on it, like an actual specific thing, I don't know yet.
Yeah. You're obviously valuable.
For sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. But start thinking about how can I be 2 steps ahead of David? Or 10 steps, for that matter.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. So instead of waiting to execute, how can I be 2 to 10 steps ahead of David at all times?
Let's say, for instance, you had this like creative way, like so let's say you were going to text our group every day, different stuff. You know what I mean? And you just got this way of like, you write well. And every time you send something out, your methodology of like value, then ask for a sale. Every time you ask for a sale, we got people coming in and there's like something that you're doing, some sauce that's bringing in sales and revenue. That's hard to replace.
Joe does that right now in real time?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, I was about to say.
He doesn't come. I mean, here's the difference. I said, Joe, this is probably what you need to start doing to grow the Patreon because what's today?
The 13th.
13th.
Oh, so we got to look at the numbers in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
which I might end up paying Joe more money.
But let me say this, David, you have to accept some accountability in this because you are identifying tasks that need to be done that you would like to see happen. And you're saying, hey, Joe, you can do this. Joe is obviously not the person to do certain things.
For sure, which is why this was our agreement. At first, we talked about, he said, yo, he said, yo, I want to just Patreon join. Well, you said you were going to do it, and clearly. And Joe was like, I got it. I was like, all right, well, if Donni don't do it, you got it. But I don't want to have to do a whole lot.
I never said I would do it.
What?
No.
We need to find the episode.
I never wanted to do it. David asked me to do it, and I said, David, I'm too busy. And then I said, I do it then, I do it then, I do it then. And it
didn't say that, Donni.
Like, that was just too much.
You did not say you were too busy.
What I said was I was going to find the platform.
No, we already talked about it.
No, you asked me to do it. I'm like, I'm too busy. What is this? What does this involve? What does this entail? David likes to throw these ideas off as if I am not as equally busy or busier.
Joe, do you remember that being the conversation?
I don't remember the conversation. I just know that Donni was supposed to do it.
Yes.
No. David had an idea for something that he wanted to do, of something that needed to get done. And he assumed I was the best fit. I was not the best fit for that.
Let me tell you how I remember it happening.
I'm not setting up a membership group in my own company.
Yo, you know what? Because you said that, but you would do it on this platform, of course. But you was like, no, I was waiting for a graphic or something like that.
Well, yeah, so I started. And like when I'm in the zone of getting stuff, I need what I need. I can't be waiting for this and waiting for that and waiting for that. I'm out of that.
Moral of the story.
I didn't do it.
Moral of the story.
So now you got a second person who
Joe said he would grow it. So he's talking to the Patreon people. He's like, they should have a certain percentage. If you got 100,000 followers, you should have X amount of subscribers, right? He's going through it. He's like, all we got to do is keep pumping it. And this is what we're going to do. I was like, all right, cool. As long as I don't have an extra burden, I give you X% of that. And we'll run it.
Are you going to meet the numbers on the 15th?
We'll see.
What was the number?
The latest number?
No, what was
150.
It was 150?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the latest number?
And I let him come up with the number.
90.
You got a strong possibility.
Got 2 days to get 60 people in Patreon. But
how many followers do you have?
200 something.
How many subscribers to the YouTube channel?
200 something.
60 people out of 200,000?
But we got to do the work. But anyway, what I said was, I was like, Joe, if you're not like growing, so there's an opportunity where you can do something, but if you're not growing it, then I'm just going to pay you to manage it. And if I pay you to manage it, you're probably not going to like how it grows.
You're going to be disgusted.
But if that's not his thing, it's easier for him to say, yo, marketing, the promotion, doing all that kind of stuff, being consistent. I don't have the time to do it. I'd rather you just pay me to manage it. And that might be cool. That might be his thing.
So we have a meeting tomorrow, which is a big deal.
We do.
Did you forget?
No, 4:00.
Mm-hmm. We're going in the office, right? Yeah. We have a meeting tomorrow, which is a pretty big deal. We need to meet after, though.
Okay. What about before?
Before might be tough.
You got clients?
No, I need to get my hair done.
What time is your appointment?
To be determined. Our meeting is at 4:30.
I see 4.
I see 4:30.
You see 4:30?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you see 4:30?
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the group chat? Or anyway, whatever it is. It don't matter.
4:30.
Okay. So she actually said, so we're prepared to outline our, so you were planning to be late.
No, look. Right here.
Please let me know if Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern works for you. What does that have
on my calendar.
You did that or she did that?
She did that.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't do that. She did that.
Well, I don't got that on my calendar. I do have it on my calendar.
At what time?
4:30.
Exactly.
She's bugging. Anyway. All right, so yeah, let's try to meet before that, man, because in the evenings, I try to be home with my family. So, see what's all you guys get your hair done. You don't have an appointment?
My appointments are standing on Tuesdays, but I was out of the country. So I have to squeeze something in tomorrow.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, make it happen. Maybe we could do earlier. But anyway.
Joe, why are you looking at me with this mischievous grin?
I'm looking at the both of y'all.
What I did? Oh, because we just wasted mad time talking about nothing?
Yeah, like, comments, drag them, please.
Yeah, we just wasted their time. All right, this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, the only organization that gathers every single day. One question for you. Where would you go to meet up with 500 to 700 entrepreneurs every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Nowhere but The Morning Meetup. themorningmeetup.com. It is $79 a month. But so that you're for sure that this is going to be valuable for you, I'm going to do something special for you and you alone. I'm going to let you try out the amazingness of the Morning Meetup community for $1. Just $1 for a whole week. Just to see if you like what we're talking about, see if it's valuable. And if you like it, stay. If not, you just leave and you're only invested $1. So go to themorningmeetup.com.
I'm so sorry.
You good? themorningmeetup.com and just, check it out. Donni?
This episode is also y'all are so immature. This episode is also brought to you.
Hey, do a little.
I'm clearing my throat. Sorry. You're getting it, Joe? Got it. Okay. Are you seriously getting it? There you go. I see it now.
Now make sure you hit that mic with lights on, bro.
This episode is also brought to you by Six Figure EDU, Six Figure Accelerator, more specifically, the most comprehensive program.
You want to start over?
Yes. I was looking at myself blinging. All right, you guys, this episode is also brought to you by Six Figure Accelerator. This is the most comprehensive training and development program for coaches and consultants. You have an idea, you have some information. You believe that if you could just share this with anybody else, you would bring them extreme value. But you don't know where to get started. Or maybe you already have a program and it's just not doing what it's supposed to do and you need some help to develop it even further, even better. I got you, Six Figure Accelerator, and you can get access to that by going straight to sixfigureedu.com. The word six, sixfigureedu.com. This episode is also brought to you by Post to Paid, the only network of entrepreneurs who are getting content delivered directly to their phone. So you're a thriving entrepreneur. You've got the business model figured out. You know exactly how you get value, but you are struggling to connect and convert clients through your social media. I have it all figured out for you. I will send you 3 text messages every single day.
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it and we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together our Patreon. We put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay. So check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated. Okay. Thank you so much. Now back to the episode.